And if you want to feature on your record, it'll cost ya. Seen so many men turn imposters.
Welcome back to 32 Fans. I'm Alex Chester. With me, as always, Wheels Wienerker. Wheels, how's it rolling?
It is rolling great.
All right.
I was just finishing eating, as you asked.
Okay, sorry.
Probably not eligible for next year's World's Sexiest Man. I'll say that right now.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, the listeners already know what we're doing because it's in the name of the episode. But to quote Admiral Stockdale in the 1992 vice presidential debate, who am I? Why am I here? What is going on? Akiva, why? Obviously, it's bracket season. We have to do a bracket, but why are you and I determining who is the sexiest man alive today?
No reason. I think it's like more of a 32 Fans idea type of thing.
Okay, but how did the idea even come up in the first place?
I think it came up on RAANAP, and we were like, it was
Yep.
a funny idea, but nothing we could, I don't think, ever do on RAANAP.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So yeah. And we decided, although we are, of course, two of the world's greatest experts in sexy men, we needed some others to join us. And so we have not one, but two incredible guests with us today. We have Ali Lasher and Dr. Amanda Rabinowitz. Juris Dr. Ali Lasher. And so Ali, Amanda, welcome to the podcast. We'll start with you, Ali. What the hell are we doing? Why are Keith and I determining sexy men?
Wait, can you imagine if that's how I was called? Like, I don't want this to happen, but that was really funny.
Okay, so you're now Juris Dr. Ali.
I might. It's funny because you might think, wow, Ali seems like she was surprised that it was a video podcast. And no, Alex did tell me it would be video, but I decided to humble myself as I rate sexy men and show up with negative sex appeal myself. So I really don't know why I'm here. I did get tipped off.
Alex is so much better than me because I'm like, oh, I gotta tell Alex today, and then I never told her. But luckily,
it was in the email. It was in the email.
You can't do a video podcast without letting people know if their default assumption.
I know, but I forgot.
But at least I get to say, oh no, I didn't know it was video. But no, I have to own that. But I was tipped off that this was a rejected RAANAP idea, which I feel like Akiva danced around by Brian Cohen. He did tell me this was. So I'm here because really, where else would I be if not on a rejected RAANAP idea podcast?
Yes. Okay, perfect. And Amanda, how did you come to be the guest? Were you a proposed guest on the RAANAP version of this?
No, I mean, I signed up to rank fonts, which is much more in my wheelhouse than the sexiest man alive.
What's the sexiest font?
Oh, what's the sexiest font? I don't know. I mean, maybe it is like a maybe
Century Gothic, honestly.
Century, really? You think so?
Yeah,
I mean, so. I kind of think Mitstrel was pretty sexy. I don't know. Yeah, so I signed up to rank fonts, and then Akiva did a last minute switch up because he thought that was a terrible idea, even though he was the one who invited me to do it. And I am nothing if not game for anything. So here we are.
Would you have said no? Is there an idea you would have said no to?
I could think of probably a few.
Like football related stuff, which is really the main thing of our show.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably things that I would say no to, but I'm a pretty agreeable person, I would say.
I agree. I think that's true. I think if we did a most agreeable people bracket, you'd really advance far.
Yeah,
well, Alex and I wouldn't even be anywhere near that bracket.
I wasn't going to say it, but I don't think Ali's a 1 seed. I don't think Alex is a 1 seed.
All right. Okay. So
Amanda, wait.
Where would I be, Ali?
You're not on. You're off the charts. Dr. Amanda, can we agree that in terms of sexy fonts, neither of the fonts that Alex chose for the actual graphic?
No, actually, this is a really, really good point. What is this font that says featuring Ali Lasher and Amanda Rabinowitz?
So the people font or the sexiest man alive bracket, those words are in the font that people uses. Actually, the difference is I didn't do the spacing. People's spacing is much closer.
The kerning,
Alex, thank you, as you've taught us. The font that I used for Ali and Amanda down there at the bottom is called. Let me see if I can find it again. I should have been prepared for this question.
This is my least favorite font that I've ever seen in my life.
It's called Black Adder. And I would assume because we learned that Old English is also called Black Ladder. I assume that Black Adder is sort of like a subversion of that. It's spooky. Doesn't it give off like a little bit of vibe?
It does. Like Ichabod Crane or something. Like black.
It's something scary. I feel like someone in the
Black Adder is a British sitcom, by the way.
Do they use this font?
It does look like they might use this font,
Makes
actually.
sense. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like it looks like our names were listed on a parchment that we just got a passage on the Mayflower. Like it's like it does not belong in this.
Look at the
setting.
beautiful R though on Dr. Amanda's name. That is quite a flourish.
Do you think that Alex chose these, Ali, because he thought that this font looked sexy?
Yes, 100%. I think he thought it was sexy and formal.
I was going for something as different as I could for the fonts on the top of the page.
Who are we if not sexy and formal?
Yes, sexy and formal. All right, so if you're watching on YouTube, you see the bracket right here. So the Sexiest Man Alive was a thing that People magazine introduced in 1985. There's been 34 of them since then. There was 1 year, 1994, when there was no Sexiest Man. And then in 2015, retroactively, one of the editors of People magazine said that it would have been we'll get to this when we get to this part of the bracket. And then there's also in 1993, the year before that, there was not a sexiest man, but a sexiest couple. But the man in that couple was also himself a sexiest man later. So we'll get to that as well. So yeah, we have a few play-ins to get to 32. And the other play-ins are when the same person has been sexiest man multiple times.
Now, why are there play-ins? Because we said we would do the last 32 years.
No, because I'm a completist. You know that, Akiva. There's 34. We're doing all 34. That's
fine. So if there's been 34 ever, I actually rescind. That's fair.
Okay.
Giving
all
stickler.
Right. The stickler is stickling as he wants to do. Yeah. All right. So let's start. I gotta reshare this, which I just unshared. Let me bring it back for our viewers on YouTube and also for you as well, you guys. All right, so we're going to start in the upper. And the way that the regions have been divided is chronologically. So the left side is the first 16 or so, and then the right side is the first 16 or so.
And we're voting based on how they looked then, right? Not how they look now. I mean,
yes. So in traditional 32 fans tradition, everybody can vote using whatever criteria they want. But I personally am going to go off of the cover image that People magazine chose the year that they named them sexy.
Okay.
So you are not factoring anything that you know about this person. You are going on visible sexiness.
What if they're like a monster now? They're canceled.
Well, I mean, it bears saying that several of these people have revealed themselves to be monsters.
Yes. We'll get to that.
Correct. And also, look, let's be honest here. Sexy is in the eye of the beholder, not just the eye, but sexy is an entire state of mind. It's how you look, it's how you feel, it's how you talk, it's how you treat people. If you guys want to judge however you want, certainly you could. Yes, but I would say I'm personally going to try and judge based on what I thought of them the year it came out, because otherwise, a lot of these people are in a lot of trouble. And we're going to start with the very first Sexiest Man Alive, which was Mel Gibson. Not a fan of the Jews.
This podcast would not be for him.
Yes, and he's definitely not a fan of probably men discussing.
I don't even think he likes sports, to be honest.
Yeah.
Also, not a fan of shampoo based on the image chosen.
Yeah, in 1985.
Was he
it was a gel look. I think it was like a heavily gelled kind of look.
He's got very Aryan blue eyes in this picture. Yeah, so I'm not really feeling it here. He is facing, it's a play-in matchup between Johnny Depp.
Where's the shared screen?
Am I not sharing the screen?
No, but I'm on my own.
I'm looking at my own. Yeah.
You provided images to us.
Sorry about that. All right, I'm back. Sharing it failed to start. The window you selected is invalid. Wait a second.
While you do this, Dr. Amanda,
yeah.
Do you think we're going to have enough data after this to push the theory that sexy men are monsters?
I've thought about this, and I wonder if you could even make any list of 32 men without having a handful of monsters in the bunch. It's a tall feat for sure.
Except when we ranked our 32 favorite listeners to this podcast recently. No monsters, probably.
Yes, I'm sure.
All right, so which Johnny Depp will Mel Gibson face? Will he face 2003 Johnny Depp?
Wait, we got Johnny Depp versus Mel Gibson as our first matchup?
Well,
but no, it's Johnny Depp versus himself.
We have Johnny Depp in 2003 versus Johnny Depp in 2009. And if you're not, you really should be on the video here. But if you're not on the video, I'll note that in 2003, his sexiness was not even enough. He only got 2/3 of the cover. The other third was for Bachelor Bob.
That is weird.
Michael Jackson's name appears on the cover. Which is a little awkward. We're talking about men who have been canceled for despicable behavior. In 2009, Johnny Depp comes back. He gets the whole page himself this time. He looks pretty similar. I'd say he looks slightly sexier in 2003, in my expert opinion here. But Ali, what do you say? Which Johnny Depp?
First of all, I want to say that I can't give him any knocking in 2003 for having 2/3 of the cover, because this was like the Bachelor's heyday. So I'm surprised he didn't even get like the small corner that Taylor Swift gets in 2009 on that cover.
But why not just postpone Sexiest Man a week then if you got to do Bachelor Bob that week?
Look, I can't begin to get into the mind of print journalism in 2003, but I agree with you. I think in 2009, the quality of the image looks like he was retouched, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it's
like
too white or something. He's lacking in color.
It looks like Chat GPT generated this photo. I'm going to say 2003. I'm with you, Alex.
All right. And Amanda, what do you say?
Absolutely 2003. That's an easy one for me. And I believe women.
Okay, yes. And I'm not a fan of Johnny Depp.
You don't believe women?
I'm not a fan of Johnny Depp. I'm like on screen. I've never really liked him before. We found out,
never
some
been
of the bad things he did.
Never been a Depp hater.
I really did. Like, I grew up loving Johnny Depp. Like, he was like peak heartthrob in like my teens. I loved Edward Scissorhands. I love, all the early, so I mean, it's been a tough blow for me to realize that this man is an absolute monster, but he is attractive.
I thought for sure the one thing I was going to do was vote against Mel Gibson because, I despise him.
But
I'm looking at these two pictures right now. As George says, it's you love the ones who hate you, right? Like in these two pictures, Johnny Depp doesn't do it for me. Mel Gibson, in my opinion, is more attractive in these two pictures. So I'm voting for Mel Gibson over Depp.
I respect it because Johnny Depp probably doesn't hate you, whereas Mel Gibson does. So I almost respect that.
Well, what do Amanda and I do?
I know, as Jewish women, where do we stand?
Listen, we're all in trouble here.
Mm-hmm.
Ali, how are you voting?
So Alex, I almost think me being on this podcast is just going to be repeating everything you say because I agree. When I came in here, I was like,
taste in men.
I thought at least I'll vote against Mel Gibson. However, sort of that like grunge guy is not my kind of guy. Now, Johnny Depp, it's doing him some favors that I can see less of him on the cover. Like, I think that makes it a better cover, but I do have to go.
Who do you think smells better in those pictures?
I don't think either of them are giving a good smell. I think both of them are using their own musk.
Yeah.
But Johnny Depp looks like a particularly bad smelling celebrity, to be honest.
No, these are two monsters for sure. Mel Gibson does less than nothing for me in any category at all. I would advance Johnny Depp here.
Well, in Braveheart, I think he was pretty good looking, honestly. But in this, this picture doesn't do it for me. I'll go with Depp.
All right, so wait, is it 2 to wait? So who did
It's a tie.
It's a tie. Oh my goodness.
What do we do?
I think no one advances. How about nobody?
Against them. Automatically advance the person who's against.
No, they're automatically eliminated. They're both eliminated.
But Akiva, we could have many ties, and this whole bracket could be empty.
Yeah, that's true.
Good.
We need a tiebreaker mechanism.
It's good. No, it's good because we're not endorsing Depp or Gibson.
Well, no, to be clear,
again, but we might have ties where we like both of the people. So
we did not advance.
That's fine.
Because
then it's a problem. No. Just keep going.
Okay, so it's almost like going to rocks.
But this is going to happen again.
Okay, so I know. I like what Akiva's saying. If we can't convince each other to go to rocks,
wow.
Yeah, they both lose.
I'm just saying.
I think here it's better though. I think let's sacrifice both of them. I think it's to our credit to not let either win.
Okay. No, but see, the damage is done, Akiva. We have to be clear. We are not advancing them because we can't advance them on their views or their habits.
Yeah,
well,
we are
done. Flip.
Yes, we've all tried to advance one of them, Akiva.
We've all
right.
We are
no, we're not saving any face here.
Yeah. I'll just say I'll go to rocks. I am not flipping because I find Johnny Depp very ununattractive. So I'm sticking with Gibson no matter what. So does anybody else?
I am probably the loosest tooth here. Yeah. That doesn't make sense. But
no, it actually kind of did.
You're swingable.
But I think just on the principle of the joy of this immediately becoming deadlocked, like I don't want to switch on the principle of that. Not on the.
So they're both eliminated.
I think we need a tiebreaker. I think we need to decide on a tiebreaker.
Let me look at Depp one more time. I have the bigger images.
I mean, I feel very strongly that Johnny Depp is more attractive than Mel Gibson, but so
I do like because I feel like Amanda and Ali have very different tasting.
We do, I think,
and Alex and I for sure do also. So,
well, but Ali and I apparently have the same tasting. So.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say the bigger image does not help. I have to go with Gibson on the bigger image because he's got like the sharp nose and he's looking at me weird and he looks like he kind of smells. I gotta go with Gibson. I'm going with Gibson. Don't cut that clip.
32 fans out of context.
All right, so what are we doing here? Are we saying neither one advances?
No one advances.
Yeah, no one advances. Let's keep going.
Okay. All right, so vacated. Okay. All right.
Wow.
The next matchup we
Now
have.
this bothers Alex's OCD so bad. You have no
Okay,
idea
all right.
that
The
nobody
next
wants
matchup, we have the only person on this list that I honestly I don't know who he is. Mark Harmon.
Yeah, wait,
don't know Mark Harmon?
he's like a CBS procedural guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know who he is. Now, maybe today he probably looks a little bit different than he did in 1986. I think I've seen St. Elsewhere. I just don't remember it. So he's 1986. He's going up against Ben Affleck, who was the sexiest man alive in what year? 2002. I think, I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast before, but I'm very unimpressed with Ben Affleck from a sexiness perspective. He looks like a good-looking version of like an average guy.
Yes,
He's an
that's
average
his
guy.
thing.
Although
He's very tall.
Yeah, he's 6'3". No, he's better
That
looking than
tattoo
the
is
average
really
person,
bad.
but he's not like we'll get to like Brad Pitt later. Brad Pitt, like he's walking down the street, you're like, holy shit, that man is incredibly good looking. And to me, Ben Affleck, if he wasn't famous, you'd be like, oh, that guy's good looking, but you're not going to like be stopped in your tracks. Although that's also true about Mark Harmon here. Needs a haircut, by the way, very much 1980s. This picture of Ben Affleck, it's way too much touching up or something, right, guys?
I mean, like it's a magazine cover. It's photoshopped. We know the game. I agree. I don't think that Ben Affleck is going to be unbeatable in this bracket, but he's up against Mark Harmon here. I think that for me, I mean, I'm not a huge Ben Affleck person, but Mark Harmon, I know that this was 1986 that he was People's Sexiest Man Alive. Maybe this is why he looks like somebody who would be like one of your parents' friends. It's like, this is not somebody that I would ever think of as sexy. So I think that it's going to be Ben for me.
And the second ever, they'd only done this once before. They had everybody at their disposal. And obviously we know this is probably mostly publicists and favors and et cetera, et cetera.
It's all who has the best publicists. Honestly,
right.
I was impressed. I thought maybe Mark Harmon is the one year. I didn't know of Mark Harmon. I don't know him super well, but he was at NCIS, was like the most popular show on TV for like 15 years, and he was the star of it. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's one time it was just like a random good-looking guy who wasn't the biggest star, because he was never a huge star.
I feel like he's like in Congress good looking, but not in Hollywood good looking.
Right. He's a Congress 10, but not a Hollywood 10.
Yes.
And then I Googled him, and his dad won the Heisman Trophy, and his mom was like one of the biggest actresses in the 40s. So, he's still a Nepo baby.
Nepo baby.
Mm-hmm. Freaking, and he was a quarterback at UCLA. It's also Mark Harmon.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
In addition to being an actor.
All right. So what's your vote, Akiva?
Mark Harmon.
You're voting for Mark Harmon?
Okay. So
he looks good on this picture.
Okay, so you're Harmon and Ali. Who are you voting for?
Well, we're in trouble here because I also am going to vote for Mark Harmon, and here's why. I am a big Ben Affleck girly. I love Ben Affleck, and it pains
you love
me.
Boston. You love Boston.
If this were a picture of him juggling Dunkin' Donuts, I'd be voting him through all day. I think this is a horrific photo. And Mark Harmon, I have no idea who he is. When you look at this picture, he's giving James Marsden. Like, he's got a good-looking face. Maybe this is the best photo of him ever taken versus the worst photo of Ben Affleck. But Ben Affleck in that photo looks like a guy I don't want to talk to.
What's wrong with this?
It is the worst picture. It's like a they took. It's not even a picture for this cover. It's like they found a picture of him and slapped it on that. Yeah,
but not in a good way.
I listened to Bill Simmons had Damon and Affleck on together on his podcast this week. Affleck did mention how he doesn't understand the pictures of him covering things, and he truly doesn't understand why anybody cares about that. But he was also was like, so I was in the car with Jennifer, and of course Ali and I are big Jennifer Garner stands. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. He's got such a good relationship with his ex-wife.
So are Amanda and I, by the way. We're podcasting about her show right now.
We're podcasting about her.
Yeah. That he is in the car with his ex-wife, and they have. And then I remembered, no, his stupid new girlfriend is also
the original Bennifer.
He was talking about J-Lo, so I take it back.
Alex Chester famously said that Jennifer Garner is most known to him from our podcast.
This isn't crazy that Mark Harmon is advancing here.
He
this
looks
is absolutely
good,
insane. I don't even like Ben Affleck. I find him personally repellent, and I also don't think he's that attractive. But I think
he sounded very sober on the podcast. By the way, he doesn't sound like himself anymore.
Oh, you don't think that this relationship with J-Lo is good for him?
No, it is. He sounded much better. He sounded sober.
Oh, okay. I thought, not somber. Okay.
Sober.
Okay, good.
Ben Affleck looks like Luke Perry in this photo. And not in a good way.
Vacated. Yeah, I disagree with this, but I guess I'm outvoted here 3-1.
I was hoping that I would be the one vote for Mark Harmon and Ben Affleck would advance, but also can I request impact for the vacated
For the font?
Yeah.
Are you an impact girly? Because
I was gonna say it was the sexiest font, but I didn't want to say
we knocked it out very
myself.
quickly. I don't think it got a vote. Impact.
I love impact.
I
Look
voted
at
for
it.
I like
vacated. It does the job.
It really should be vacant. Vacated implies someone won and then lost.
No, we vacated them.
Vacated does not require bold, Alex.
Okay, well, it's already been bolded.
Please unbold. Anyway, please unbold. Respect the font.
Wait, I gotta undo.
The bold is built in.
Wow.
I feel like we have people for a short amount of time here, but we're using that time well.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing that this spot is vacated, not because both of these people are confirmed monsters, but because we disagreed on who was sexy.
Yeah.
But now it's an impact. I would like to move impact on above Mark Harmon as a sexier.
You're gonna vote vacant over Harmon?
I'm gonna vote the font bracket and the sexiest man.
Yeah. Well, this is the problem because now Mark Harmon is all the way in our Elite Eight. But listen, that's how the bracket falls out sometimes. Sometimes you get a 15 seed in the Elite Eight.
Wow.
Yeah, he's Princeton, baby.
He's the Princeton.
Speaking of Nepo babies.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to 1987 against 2001. 1987, Harry Hamlin. I don't know. Does he have almonds in his cheeks here or something? He looks a little weird. And then Pierce Brosnan in 2001, the peak of Pierce Brosnan, he's
kind of a young. I feel like Pierce Brosnan's always looked old, but he kind of looks young in that picture. So.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he was James Bond at this point, so very, very sexy, obviously. This is his peak, like our high school years. I feel like 99 to 2001 or so. Based on this picture alone, and we also obviously we know Harry Hamlin now, from he's appeared in shows. He looks very different now that he's a what do you call them? Gray fox.
Oh, silver fox.
Silver fox. Thank you. Yes.
Aren't you a silver fox, Alex?
The only person who's ever called me that is you, Akiva.
Okay.
I thought you to say now that he's a Real House husband of.
Yeah, he's Lisa Rinna. Lisa Rinna's husband.
Okay, so these two pictures, neither one of them really do it for me. Ali, you vote first here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think you hit the nail on the head that Harry Hamlin's having an allergic reaction in that photo. I'm voting Pierce, and it's not close.
Is Pierce Brosnan wearing white face? Why is his face so pale?
I think we have to get past the edit. Maybe history will look back on Ben Affleck's snub as a fault of the Photoshop and not the photo.
Yeah.
But I like the turtleneck. I like the hair. I like the eyes. And I don't like Harry Hamlin's allergic reaction.
Harry Hamlin was married before Lisa Rinna, who he's married to for 25 years. He was married to Nicolette Sheridan from Desperate Housewives for a year. That was probably a wild year. I feel like she's the type of person you're married to for 1 year.
Wow. Yeah. So I think I think I'm like, again, this is the 1987 winner. Both of these men are sort of like giving my parents' generation, which is not particularly sexy to me, but I'm thinking, Harry Hamlin, I know best from Veronica Mars, Akiva, one of your favorite shows, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's where I know him from.
Yeah, I'm gonna advance Pierce Brosnan because I do think he's just more attractive, just judging by this photo.
All right, Akiva. So both of the women have voted for Pierce. Who are you voting for?
Now, Harry Hamlin is like a little bit of a compiler. Like he's never what's he known for?
I guess this was LA Law was when he won here. He's in 80 for Brady.
I'm not a Pierce Brosnan fan, but there's a very good picture of him. I'm gonna go with Pierce Brosnan.
I think it's a terrible picture. I think he's like very faded or something, but I'll vote for Pierce as well.
White face.
Although, yeah, I don't feel that strongly. All right, let's get to the next matchup.
Wait, Akiva, you think sexiness is in the credits?
Well, I was going to look up their net worth. Honestly, I was going to look up their net worth.
Okay, that's where we're getting to money.
That could be the tiebreaker.
Let's get to the credits because the next sexiest man alive, 1988, John F. Kennedy Jr., who his credits are, being JFK's son, basically. He had George Magazine, obviously tragically
Nepo babies upon Nepo babies.
Very much so, yes. He's a Nepo grandbaby or even great, something like that. He dies very tragically. Now, unfortunately, he's in the news because the MAGA crowd has decided that he's still alive. For some reason, he's some part of a conspiracy. I don't exactly understand it. He's going up against Harrison Ford, the sexiest man alive in 1998. I assume this is when Air Force One was out.
Yeah, Air Force One's 97, if I remember correctly.
Okay, and so maybe so maybe that's why he's very much in the zeitgeist. Wasn't he dating Callista Flockhart at this point also?
Probably.
He's not dating. He's
Married.
been
Okay.
married to her for 30 years.
Well, but in 1998, it wasn't for 30 years. It was a recent.
Yeah,
it was a recent. Yeah. He's giving off like your sexy, like, you know, your friend's 55-year-old dad or something. You know, he's a little bit older here. John F. Kennedy Jr. Did he not even agree to pose? Did they just like, pull a picture from the newspaper?
That's like a paparazzi shot right
Yeah.
there. Like he's getting into a car or something.
I thought he was in a
but listen,
courtroom.
I'm going to vote for JFK Jr. because who am I to question the judgment of Elaine Bennis? Ali,
He looks pretty.
Yeah.
He looks pretty good there.
Don't
Allie,
keep
who are
going
you
to me
voting for?
first. I feel like let's go to Dr. Amanda or Akiva.
Sure.
I feel like I'm
okay, fine. Amanda, who do you
I'm
vote
with
for?
you. So do we have
Yeah.
a third vote
This
for
is
JFK?
a terrible picture of Harrison Ford. Like
Harrison
it's
Ford
awful.
is not that hot,
A
honestly.
quarter
No.
Jewish, not too shabby, according to Adam Sandler.
No, I think I'm very clearly with JFK Jr. here.
I think Harrison Ford loses to every other person in the bracket, honestly. Even though I like him as an actor, I don't think he's hot.
maybe you should have gotten to me second because I'm voting for Harrison Ford here for no bias, I guess. I don't like, so I actually just watched a TikTok of Sarah Jessica Parker and Andy Cohen talking about when she dated JFK Jr. and they described his hair like a paintbrush. The helmet of hair doesn't do a lot for me. And I'm just so obsessed
Ellie
with
wants a
shrinking.
bald man.
I think shrinking, well, that's not true, but there's something in between bald and what's happening with JFK Jr. But Harrison Ford, if they put him on the photo now, I'd vote for him. I love Harrison Ford. I don't think this is, you're right, the best photo, but the body language is giving young and hot. I'm voting for Harrison Ford.
I feel like this is maybe a valley in Harrison Ford's attractiveness. Like it's like after Indiana Jones and Star Wars and before his like true Silver Fox era. And this is like kind of missing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if JFK Jr. and Harrison Ford walk into a bar, you know, in 1998 or whatever that year was.
I know where I am.
Yeah, JFK Jr. is taking home 90% of the ladies, I think.
Yeah. All right. So I vote for JFK Jr. as well. So he wins 3-1. I mentioned how Harrison Ford is a quarter Jewish on this entire left half of the bracket, which is the first 2 decades that they did this. Very diverse, People Magazine. Every single person on this side of the bracket is a white cisgendered Christian man, except for 1/4 of Harrison Ford.
Wow.
And Denzel Washington. So it's white on white on white. When we get to the other side of the bracket, it gets a little more diverse in terms of the People Magazine sexiness. But Pierce Brosnan against JFK, interesting matchup here. Amanda, you vote first.
This is a tough one. I think like neither of these men are going to be like the sexiest man on the bracket for me. But I think that they're both, very good looking, square jawed, symmetrical faced humans. I think that I'm giving the edge to JFK Jr. though.
Okay. And Akiva, which of these men would join you? You know how Jimmy Kimmel always does the handsome men's club thing? So which one of these men would you have welcome you in your handsome man club?
I got to go JFK Jr. here. I don't know why. It's just he's outranking.
He's frozen in time in handsomeness because of the
It's
fact
true.
that he's so
It's
young.
true.
I agree. I agree.
And is he the only like non-Hollywood person so far that we've encountered on the bracket?
JFK.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've all been actors so far.
They've all been actors.
right?
Is he the only posthumous person in the bracket, Alex?
No, we'll get to some others, including
Okay,
in the next matchup. So
R.I.P.
yeah. And again, there are those who believe that he's still alive. So all right, Ali, who are you voting for? You've heard some arguments already.
I'm really torn. Maybe I'm coming around on JFK Jr. He's giving a little bit of a Teresa Giudice small forehead, which is, as someone with a very large forehead that I'm displaying now, I feel like I've been conditioned to not like a wee little forehead like that. And the white face is tough. He is washed out. I think I've got to stay true to the criteria that doesn't exist of looking at the photo, because if I'm bringing in what I know Pierce Brosnan looks like, I'm going him. But based on the washed out photo that accentuates all the wrinkles, I'll go with the group and vote for JFK Jr.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Ali, for basically the same reasons. Yeah, not the best picture of Pierce. And you'd think when they're choosing sexiest man, they would choose the best possible picture of these people, but what do I know? All right, let's move along here. We have a play-in matchup of George Clooney, 1997, against George Clooney, the second time that he was sexiest man alive, which was 2006. So 9 years apart for Clooney. Clooney is, of course, a silver fox. The silver fox is silver fox, even one could say. And I think for sure, and again, maybe it's my bias as an Akiva appointed silver fox. I think he looks better in 2006. That embracing the gray, 97, the photoshopping, the late 90s. I don't know what People Magazine's doing with their covers. So yeah, I'm voting for 2006 George Clooney. But Akiva, who are you voting for?
I'm going 97. I was very early to Clooney because I used to watch the soap opera show Sisters on Saturday night for some insane reason, where he eventually got, spoiler, blown up in a car bomb and died so he could go to ER and do movies and stuff. He was the only person I ever remember from my childhood my mom having a big crush on. I'm going with 97 Clooney.
All right. Ali, who do you vote for, 97 or 06?
I don't want to support society's opinion that men get better with age, and like there's no woman that we would show in 97 versus whenever the new one is, and we'd all vote for
I would
the current
disagree.
day.
Hillary Clinton, I think, looked much better
Okay,
in the
okay.
2000s.
Well, honestly,
When she was a
Julie
senator,
Lee-Dreyfus looks better every time I see her. But
yeah.
if
All
you
right,
have $1 billion,
congratulations,
it's
men.
possible.
I'm voting for the older person.
I
Let's
think
vote
that
Clinton.
I think it's just era. I think everybody looked bad in like the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah. That's true.
And so that's why I think a lot of people, men and women, I think they looked better 10 or 15 years
Thank
later.
you for mansplaining that. Now,
Yeah.
Ali, who are you voting for?
I already voted. I voted for old Clooney.
06. All right.
Older
So
Clooney, not
Amanda,
old.
are we going to fight, or are you going to make it 3-1?
No,
Then there's no Clooney.
I'm
There would be no
also
Clooney.
Well, no, because someone could flop.
No,
Yeah.
I'm also with 06 Clooney here. I think that he is like Ali said, to support a stereotype that men are allowed to age and women are not. He really does seem to get better looking with age. And I think especially like if you compare him to other men of the same age, as he's gotten older, his good looks only are like more impressive. So that's the one that I go with too.
Okay.
I do want to say that either Clooney will beat his next opponent, in my opinion.
All right. So his next opponent is.
So I would have flipped based on that if we had gone to Ted Block.
Another silver fox, the sexiest man alive in 1989. Another James Bond, Sean Connery, the first mustachioed sexy man. Very interesting photo we got here. The other sexy men that year, by the way, the sexiest hunk was Ken Wall, sexiest athlete Michael Jordan, sexiest big guy John Goodman. Quite a group of 4 sexy
Wow.
men. I like the headline also says older, balder, and better. Here's one leading man who doesn't need to fake it. And for the first time, I look at our other 10 contenders. So Allie's already said she's voting for Clooney over Connery. Akiva, what about you?
I'm not a Connery guy at all. I'm obvious Clooney here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Amanda?
send him through. Send Clooney through. What do we think of this white turtleneck on Sean Connery here?
Very 80s, right?
Yeah. He looks like a villain.
He really does.
It's a little villainous, that mustache. I don't disagree.
Who's the person that you said would have lost to anyone in the bracket that I voted for? Harrison Ford. So you would have voted Sean Connery over the photo of Harrison
I
Ford.
think I would have done a vacant vote, like a 2
You'd have gotten
2 in my
impact.
head, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, would have gotten impact.
All right. And now we have 2 of the highest profile sexy men. We have Tom Cruise in 1990. I was going to say his peak, but he's had a lot of peaks, I guess.
Such a messy hair picture of Tom Cruise.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Oh,
And it looks like a guy who also didn't pose for this. They caught him at some
He might not
red carpet.
Yeah,
Going
listen,
up
there's some people that don't need the sexiest man alive bump, and he's on that list.
Yeah, but then why'd they pick him? I guess.
Sells more covers.
Look at those
Yeah.
white teeth.
Yeah, very.
I was
white.
going to say I would consider Scientology for those teeth.
All right, and
What
then
is Princess Di doing in the cover?
she had a $23 million deal. It says.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and one last insult. So this is 2003.
We can all agree Princess. No, I'm not going to say it. All right.
Oh, Denzel, the first. It took till 2003, 18 years of them doing this for them to finally pick a non-white man. Not great for people. And Denzel probably a little past his peak in 2003 as well, but still very sexy and the sexiest man in 2003. So it's 2003.
I thought this was 96.
Huh?
I'm looking at the
Or 96,
people.
excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. where I
Can't
came
be
up with-
03 because Princess Di was,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know where. Yeah, I misspoke. Sorry. It's 2000. Yes, it's 96. Yes, Princess Di still alive. Well, it says one last insult. Spoiler alert: there was a bigger insult.
Oh god.
Oh, no.
the next
This
year.
is a romp. I'm not a Tom Cruise guy. I've never been a Tom Cruise guy. Let this guy. I don't know. It is Denzel by a billion.
$1 billion, he says. Oh wow. Okay. Amanda, what do you say?
Yeah, this is easily Denzel Washington for me. I think Tom Cruise looks very kind of menacing, and creeps me out a little bit. I don't
Tom
find
Cruise
him.
looks like his bar mitzvah just ended.
I mean, look, he's undeniably a good-looking guy, great bone structure. He's not really my type. I think that Denzel is much more likable and also extremely handsome. So I'm going to advance Denzel. I would vote to advance Denzel here.
Allie?
I want to say that I did a brief skim. Alex sent us materials a few days ago, and I did a brief skim of the images. Not just a brief skim. I think Denzel, this cover of Denzel could really be a contender to go all the way here.
Wow.
For anyone who's
It's a
not
good
watching the
It's a good
podcast,
picture.
right? Like where we're having like, oh, this is sexy guy with an unsexy photo. Denzel's hitting sexy guy, sexy photo. He's giving, I think the above angle is good. And he's giving like, oh, I didn't see you there. He's not trying too hard.
It's very casual.
Yeah, very casual, but he's looking right at you.
But by going into the bar rubric, I feel like he's taken home a lot more people than Tom Cruise.
I don't know what, okay, but you're going to the bar rubric is just who you think is sexier and therefore would get more girls.
I'm trying to think.
Is this a dig on Tom Cruise for being short? Is this a height thing?
No, but it probably hurts him, honestly. I mean, if we're considering that.
All right. So,
I
Allie,
don't know
what's your official vote?
I mean, I just called my shot on Denzel going all the way, so I'm certainly advancing him over.
All right.
So
I'm fine with Denzel
groomsman
advancing.
photo.
I will throw a vote to Tom Cruise just because I feel like in our lifetimes, the two sort of like default sexiest men were Cruise and then Pitt. And so I think that Cruise to go out without even getting a single vote would be
no. Tom Cruise was never. He was a movie star. He was never the sexiest man. You're mixing up like fame with sexiness.
Right.
Denzel, I think
you would
known
never
for being
say
one
like
of
he's
the
not as
sexiest
hot as
men.
Tom Cruise. You'd say Brad Pitt.
Denzel is definitely in that conversation of like, sexiest men of our lifetime.
In like the early 90s, before Brad Pitt really emerged. It wasn't Tom Cruise in like the late 80s, early 90s.
That's before my time. I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely had heartthrob status.
Okay.
It's also a tough matchup. Like it's a bad picture and a tough matchup. I think he could have advanced over some other folks, but here we are against Denzel.
Okay. All right. Now we have a play-in of Brad Pitt 95 against Brad Pitt 2000. And Allie just called her shot. I'll call my shot. I have many times said that I think Brad Pitt is the sexiest man on earth. Like he's the only man. Like if you guys just talking about Akiva on RAANAP, you and Rob, you're but what's the card called with the 5 people you can cheat with?
The hall pass.
Yeah, the hall pass. I think I would have to go 4 women and Brad Pitt on my list as a heterosexual man. He's insanely, unbelievably handsome and attractive. That having been said, these are probably the 2 worst pictures of him I've ever seen.
Terrible pictures.
He's
horrible
like a Kurt
picture.
Cobain ripoff.
Horrible.
Kurt Cobain ripoff. And then 2000, this is like the peak of frosted tips and the goatee.
He looks like he's going to be in a boy band, but also this is his prison photo.
The top is like way too much smize. Like the squintiness, and then this one looks like somebody like it's deer in the headlights, like the bottom one.
The smell of 1995 is probably not great also.
Yeah, they're both terrible pictures of an extraordinarily handsome
I agree.
man.
He could have gone all the way. He's not going to go all the way, I think, with these pictures. But I have 2000 Pitt winning this matchup.
So you have 2000 Pitt with the frosted tips and the little goatee. Allie, what do you say?
I mean, it's better than the bigger goatee in 95. I agree. I agree with everything you've said. I'm putting 2000 Pitt through.
And,
very of the time.
Amanda, what do you say?
I think I probably would have leaned to what year is the top one?
95.
I think I probably would have leaned 95 just because he like looks like so stark in this 2000. But I mean, I'm not going to put up a big fight about it. They're both really bad pictures of him. I'll leave it to I'll vote for the top one. Akiva, did you already vote?
Yeah, Akiva and Ali voted for the bottom one.
Okay, so you decide,
both,
Chester.
Like, so if I saw either of these pictures and was told guess the year, I'd say the first one is 94 or 95, the second one is 99 or 2000. They're so of the moment, each of them. I hate both of them. And again,
I think 2000 maybe looks more like him.
Man.
Yeah. I think that the 2000 might look more like Brad Pitt, so that might give it the edge.
Yeah, I'll vote for 2000, but yeah, not a peak Brad Pitt photo here. And now he's going against, I mean, talk about people who are of the era. 1991, Patrick Swayze with like the Patrick Swayze hair. He looks almost like a horse with a mane here. Patrick Swayze is one of those people with like 100% approval rating. I don't know anybody who doesn't like him. And also, frankly, like JFK Jr., I think he benefited from passing relatively young. And so He didn't have to age ungracefully the way that many men have, reputationally anyway. This is too much hair for me. Also, too much muscles. I feel like if I'm with a man, I want him to be a little. I want him to be smaller than me. So I'm gonna pick Pitt, even though I don't love that picture. I go with 2000 Pitt over 91 Swayze. Ali, you have to vote second here. What do you say?
Go punt to the next person. I have to take a closer look at Swayze.
Okay. I thought the women would both immediately vote for Swayze, but
I just think it's a bad picture of Swayze. They're both horrible pictures of attractive men.
But this is what he looked like in the 80s. And
no, this hair is terrible. Like
yeah,
it's giving like Lion King or something. I really don't like that hair. It's like a parody of what it's supposed to be. It's too much. I think that Brad Pitt is like more attractive, and they're both bad photos, so I'm going to give it to Pitt here.
Wow, Pitt up 2-0.
Pitt looks a lot like, if you're not watching, he looks a lot like JTT, honestly, in his picture.
That's a good call. Yeah,
but I got
Lance Bass also. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You're voting Pitt?
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm also voting Pitt.
The bad picture of Swayze. I'm not a Swayze guy.
I thought for sure Amanda and Ali would vote for Swayze, and then it would just take one of us.
Why? Even when I block out the hair, I don't like what I'm seeing on Swayze here. But I agree the hair is unforgivable. So
I stand
it's
corrected.
a four-way Pitt.
Okay. All right. Now we're gonna have a three-way play in here between 93, 94, and 99. So 93, as I said, they came up with the sexiest couple, Richard Gere and Cindy Crawford, who had just gotten married. Spoiler alert, they would not last their marriage even until the next year. And in the next year,
the kids don't realize how big Cindy Crawford, was.
She was enormous, yeah,
in the 90s. Yeah.
And then the next year, there was no sexiest man at all. And as I said, years later, People Magazine said it would have been Keanu Reeves retroactively, but he doesn't have a photo, so I don't even know if he should be eligible. But I'll at least mention.
I don't think so.
And so it's Gere 93 with Cindy Crawford against Gere 99. No Cindy Crawford in this picture. No Gerbil either. He was the one with that rumor, right?
Yeah, he's the Gerbil guy.
That's right. Yeah.
Go to the other one. Go up to the.
It's schlubby Gere versus airbrush Gere.
Well, the first one clearly is not a picture. Yeah, this is just they're taking a picture of them on the red carpet. They did not agree to pose. Whereas the next one, he's clearly posing for the magazine. I'm going to vote for the first one. The fact that Cindy Crawford's there next to him doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I don't think you get to. So they should have just put a woman in every picture. You would have voted for that one. Is that what's missing?
It's the second time Michael Jordan's on a cover of a Sexiest Man.
Yeah, that's wild. I have 99 Gere.
99 Gere. Okay.
Can I vote for the text that says Keanu Reeves 1994 retroactive?
Sure. All right. So we got 1-1, which Allie's the deciding vote here.
Yeah, so this is tough because I think like what you guys were saying about Harrison Ford or the guy who moved on to the Elite Eight that I can't remember his name. Richard Gere in 93 is giving like your dad, like your childhood friends, like good looking dad. Whereas in 9, what's the other one?
99 is the second time, yeah.
In 99, like he looks like Richard Gere, the movie star to me. And I'm going to have to try to erase the like blush and airbrushing that accentuates the wrinkles from people and vote for 99 Gere. And I'm not a Keanu girly, so
and his
I can't
hair
vote for the text.
It might be blacker in 99 than 93, actually, at least based on these two photos. But all right, so we have 1999 Richard Gere solo, and he is going up against Nick Nolte.
Oh my god, he looks like Gary Busey almost.
He really does.
I was going to say he looks like Robert Redford at the time a little bit.
Oh, they could all be cousins. Those three.
And Nick Nolte
I have to just jump in.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for a change. This cover of Nick Nolte, when I first saw it, looks like a People cover when they're doing like man who murdered his family, like expose. Like that's what this cover looks like.
Yeah, he killed the woman above. Who's the woman above him?
Is that like Delta Burke?
Yeah.
Who is Delta Burke? Who's that blonde?
He was on Designing Women. Yeah.
Who's that block? We don't know. Yeah.
But that's the quality of this photo is like a backyard shot that they would be like inside the family torn apart by murder and lust. And it would be like this photo.
No,
ironically, People was like a more respectable magazine back then. Like I think they had like features and stuff like that. But the cover of that year looks very much like the magazines you find by the checkout counter, like World News, whatever. Like the insane fake
But
magazine.
People does that now. Sometimes you pick up the wrong People magazine and it's like, you're not going to sleep for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Nick Nolte has probably aged worse from a looks perspective than anyone else in this bracket, and I include the ones who've been buried.
I mean, isn't he the coach of Blue Chips? Blue
my
Chips is
God.
like 4.
He's
Blue
so
Chips is like
unattractive.
4 years later,
That's a
and he's 1,000.
complexion that really doesn't age well. That kind of
Mhm.
like blonde, like red, like burns easily. That's not a good
Yeah.
complexion.
That's bad for
aging.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this gear by a million miles. I mean, you saw Nolte and Blue Chips, right, Alex? He's
Yes.
old by
yes.
then. He's playing an old, washed-up retread coach. It's a
I'm
few
going to say
years
I
later.
don't like Nick Nolte at all as as a person, and
Nobody does.
looks. He certainly hasn't aged well. But these two pictures, I think there's something wholesome about Nick Nolte here. He looks shockingly good, and Gear looks a little bit creepy. I'm voting for Nolte.
Wow.
He got an exclamation point for
Ali,
the cover.
where do you
Sexiest man
know
alive.
Nolte from?
I don't know him from anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't think you would.
I know
He
his
really
name.
fell off
I
the
know
map.
his name from being
Yeah.
referenced.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 1-1 among the boys.
Oof. Like, wait, no, it's Nick Nolte. No, that's Robert Redford. What do I know Nick Nolte from? I don't know. This is like profoundly
Sexiest
like
man alive.
both of these pictures and these men in general, I find profoundly unsexy. That's just speaking from my perspective, and which is all I can do. I guess I'm going to advance Richard Gere here because I would vote to advance him because he doesn't have that same kind of like possible serial killer quality that Ali called out correctly about the Nick Nolte picture. Yeah.
I respect the fact he's wearing glasses in the picture, though. That was not his like default look.
I feel
Right.
like this really is like a window into the psyche of the 1990s that both of
Yeah.
these men were on People's Sexiest
Yeah.
Man Alive list.
All right, Ali, so where are you voting? It's 2-1 for Gear right now.
This is tough because again, Richard Gere is someone I would think would be like advancing, but the photos, all two of his options were not great. Like
Now remember, we don't have to vote on the photos. That is just an option.
I'm voting on the photos because I can't get into like the last
Why
50 years.
was Nick Nolte? Yeah, why was Nick Nolte? What he's a monster, right? Or what did he do?
He had a lot of demons, but I think they were mostly personal demons, like drugs.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was
Okay.
like very Trumpy or something. Is that not the case?
Oh, that he may have had politics now, but I obviously
I don't know. He was
that he could get arrested. These
he
days,
was
you know?
just in Poker Face. His voice sounds pretty terrible right now. Yeah. Okay. There's a Nick Nolte's mugshot Twitter account.
I guess I didn't know he was in Lorenzo's Oil. I had to watch that in school. That's like about a kid who's like sick and he takes like they figure out that if he takes like the lipids in oil or something will help cure him or something.
Mm-hmm.
Was that like a Hollywood movie that it would be like the rugged star of Lorenzo's Oil? That's what this said. And that's what I'm quoting from People magazine.
With Susan Sarandon.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm familiar with his work. I'm voting for Nick Nolte here based on the photo. I think it's giving me my Jersey roots probably of like a guy on the beach. Like if I'm looking at who's sexier in these photos, I think it is a sexier photo of Nick Nolte. Don't also pull that out. I don't want to cut that clip either.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think like
Wow.
which of these, ironically, given sort of their personalities and their careers and stuff, but which one of these men would you trust more based on looks alone? If I'm judging a book by its cover, I'm taking this Nolte with the glasses.
Well, that is crazy. If it's who I trust, I often find the people I trust to be the least sexy.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
your
Let's unpack that, Alex.
No, but like if you're saying who do I trust the most versus who's the sexiest, that's a crazy.
It does look
Yeah,
like
nobody
Nick
trusts
Nolte
Nolte.
is like holding an axe right out of
Yeah.
the frame.
The name Nick Nolte has such a negative connotation for me, but if I just saw that face and that body and he came up to me and gave me a
That
hug, I would
body.
appreciate the hug. Whereas
You can
Gear,
only
I'd
see his
squirm.
shoulders.
No, he's never hugged anybody in his life.
All right, well, is somebody gonna flip here, or are we gonna vacate?
Oh,
I thought
wow.
we're 3-1. Are we not 3-1? Akiva, who'd you vote for?
No,
I voted here.
Ali, you and
Oh.
I are on the
Wow.
Nolte side.
Yeah, Akiva and I have the same taste in men.
I'll
it turns
flip.
out.
I'll flip mostly because when Amanda said I'm speaking for myself because that's all I can do, I wanted to jump in and say I'm authorizing you indefinitely to speak for me as well. So I will flip on that basis. Also, Richard, like I don't feel as strongly, and
Yes.
in fact, as Amanda said, let's unpack it. Like I feel a little gross that I find this photo sexier after I ripped it for being like a man murders wife and kids in basement.
Yeah. To be fair, the woman who I love and am most attracted to in the world, I said looked like a woman who had raped her 15-year-old student. You know, to remember
Oh, but
the
that's
deleted tweet.
because she looked like a
That was just
person.
one
A
picture.
specific person. If she doesn't have that like look in
Oh
general.
no, just in
No,
that
I
one
think it was the
photo.
opposite. I think he said the picture of her had that specific look.
Yeah, I'm saying just one photo, just like the one photo of
Mhm.
Nolte. All right, so now we have here in the Sweet 16, 2000 Pitt against 99 Gear. Ali,
mean,
lead
I'm
us
getting
off. You're always
sold on-
deferring your vote. You gotta put your foot in the
I'm
sand.
getting sold on 2000 Pitt. Like, I think the more I look at it, like I probably had that cover on my. I did get to a point where, not because this is how influenced by pop culture I was and still am, I didn't really have a desire to have photos on my wall, but because like all of the girlies in the like shows I was watching did, I then like made a giant mural of like arbitrary magazine cutouts. I feel like I would have put Pitt up there in that photo before Richard Gere. I'm voting Pitt. I think he's getting sort of lucky with his matchups here in this bad photo.
All right, so Ali votes for Pitt. Amanda, what about you?
This looks like a bad photo of a sexy guy, and the Richard Gere photo looks like a not great photo of a not as sexy guy. So I also vote to advance Brad Pitt.
Yeah, and I'm
here.
voting Pitt too.
Oh wow, so Pitt, yeah, that's unanimous. 4 votes for Pitt after we said not a great picture of him, but it's enough for him to advance.
The sexiness shines through.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have 2000 Pitt going up. Oh wait, we didn't do this matchup yet. A dynamite matchup, very difficult matchup. George Clooney in 2006, did we say? Going up against Denzel Washington in 99. Akiva, you go first. Who are you voting for, Denzel or Clooney?
Yeah, this could be the finals, honestly. Clooney
It
versus
could,
Denzel.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a rough matchup to have now,
And
especially since there's going to be some like broccoli heads on the cover on the other side. I think I'll go Denzel here. It's very close. My only problem with Clooney, I don't really trust him. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I've never trusted him.
That doesn't make him
exactly
sexier.
what Alex said. I don't think trust is sexy.
Also, isn't
Yeah.
Clooney like personality-wise like one of the most like beloved guys?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
what
mean,
did he
Denzel,
do?
have you ever heard a bad word about Denzel?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, but Clooney's more sort of politically active, like supporting social causes. Denzel's sort of just going to Lakers games and minding his own business. I don't know.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm voting for Clooney. I'm a Clooney guy, I guess.
But
these are two of the top probably 4 or 5 in the bracket.
This is an incredibly tough matchup. I think that you could find a picture of George Clooney that I would choose to advance, but given that these are both extremely attractive men, I'm going just with the photos here, and I think that the Denzel photo is way sexier than that particular George Clooney photo. So I vote for Denzel.
Ali, it's 2-1 for Denzel now.
Yeah, I think this is where me having the larger images up at the same time is helpful, and I think Amanda does too. Like, when I'm looking at the small Zoom screen, I mean, that's also just based on how I have my laptop. I think the smaller picture of Clooney is sexier. Upon further review, it's not such a great picture in the close-up. I'm gonna go for Denzel based on the large image, but this was a nail biter.
Yeah, wow. To me, this picture of Denzel just looks very 90s.
And
Well,
he
we're
looked
judging it of the time.
he looked great in the night. I mean, all of these look pretty 90s over
Yeah.
here and like 80s. They're very.
Yeah, well, but the 06 Clooney, and the only reason the 06 Clooney is even on this side of the bracket is because 97.
It was
Clooney got
double
him there.
Clooney. Yeah.
All right, so Denzel wins, and now we have Denzel going up against Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt 2000, Denzel, what do we say, 99, right? Or 96, excuse me. I'm getting all mixed up. Yeah. And then we have one other matchup up there. Okay, so who are we going for between Denzel and Brad Pitt?
Who are you asking?
Yeah, who do you want to kick it off?
You go first, Ali.
Well, much like Princeton, I'm hoping. Well, this analogy isn't working. I think Brad Pitt's Cinderella story of the ugly photo sexy man comes to an end here, much like I hope Princeton's run does tomorrow. I'm going with Denzel.
All right, so you go Denzel. Amanda, what about you?
I agree. I think that this is where we can no longer overlook the bad photo. Denzel's cover is so much better here. So I also vote to advance Denzel.
All right, Akiva, what do you say?
Speaking of Princeton, they just posted a TikTok of like the guys on the team at the Sweet 16 hotel having to do calculus homework, which was pretty funny.
Right.
I'm going with Denzel though.
Okay, so Denzel is gonna win. Then he's gonna knock out Brad Pitt, which means I think he just knocked out in consecutive matchups my two sexiest men, right? Between
Wow.
George Clooney and Brad Pitt, which means
You're a big Ocean's 11 guy.
Well, in now it raised the question, well, who else is there that can beat him? Because, you know, he's one of the top guys and he just took out my top two seeds. So Denzel's gonna be very tough out for anyone in the bracket here. Who will he face in the final four? Will it be Mark Harmon or JFK Jr.? A weak top part of the bracket here, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still shocked that Mark Harmon like made it past. Wait, did he? Oh, he beat the Vegas.
He beat Affleck and then he beat nobody. He had a bye in the next round. Yeah.
Harmon hasn't played anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I'll advance JFK Jr. here.
I'm gonna go Harmon.
Oh wow.
I'm with Akiva. I'm going
wow. Harmon. I mean, I don't know what Harmon's doing here. I'm definitely voting for JFK Jr. So now it's 2-2.
Wow.
What do we do?
I'm not flipping. I'd go to Rocks over it.
Wow. I'm not flipping either. Harmon is like, he looks like someone's dad. What is he doing here?
They're both going to lose to Denzel, so it's fine.
They're both going to lose to Denzel. So
that's
like,
not how you just determine this match.
Although it's weird to have a vacant Final Four team, but still.
Well,
Akiva and Amanda, are either one of you flippable?
Are you? I mean, I don't feel like so strongly about JFK Jr. in a vacuum, but I do feel very strongly that he's much, much more attractive than Mark Harmon. So this is a tough one. I don't want to have a vacated slot here. Akiva, are you flippable? Or no?
Will you maybe vote on the other side? You owe me one in a tie?
No colluding.
You guys are making alliances here.
Can I use my golden cover? No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, what is it? So wait, who is it? It's Ali and Akiva or Harmon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll flip to JFK Jr.
Yeah, go with the lane.
I agree.
Go with
this
the lane
is like a 12
here.
seed playing a 13 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm again, Ali. I thought that you were in a lane stand.
He blew her off. Real justice for Elaine is voting him down.
Well,
Mark Harmon would have been totally into Elaine, I'm sure.
Did he blow her off, or he was waiting and she never showed up, and then the Virgin eventually showed up? So yeah.
I don't know, but waiting and waiting. Also, how long would you have to wait for Jen when you were dating before you just rolled off with some Virgin?
Yeah, well, I mean, dating, they hadn't gone on any dates yet. They just met at the gym. But yeah.
Okay, so same rules apply.
All right. Okay. Let's we'll do the final four later. Before we go to the other side of the bracket, we're talking about sexy men here. Akiva, can you turn your camera on at least for this part of the podcast, please?
We're talking about
my face. I'm eating. It's not a great time.
You're still eating?
Put the food down. Turn on the camera. Okay.
Halftime show.
Yeah.
This is like when they bring out the senior women to dance, like the sunshine dance team or whatever.
Okay, he's wiping his face with a napkin, I assume. The camera's still not on.
You start. I'm coming.
No, I'm waiting. I need to see your face for what I'm about to say.
All right. Get over yourself.
All right, and what I'm about to say is this. Look at that face. Look at that beard. Is that beard in tip-top form? I would argue no, it's not.
I was thinking maybe we could shave tonight.
Are you criticizing Merab when you criticize his beard?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask the boss. I don't think she has any time because we're moving this week.
Wait, she has to shave your face for you?
You didn't know
this?
Her
to, yeah.
Did you say this on NGOG?
I've said it before, yeah.
Yeah. I've heard
this. God, this woman. No comment. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that spring has sprung. It's March 23rd. It's officially spring now. And our friends at Manscaped, they want your beard to look a little sharper than Uncle Kiwi's here. They want you to be in competition for the sexiest man. We've had no beard so far in the tournament, but maybe if one of these men with a beard use the Manscaped tools, the Beard Hedger Pro Kit 2.0, maybe that beautiful face would become the sexiest on earth. Who knows? But Akiva, you got some nooks and crannies in that beard. You really need to work on it. I think you should go to manscaped.com. You should use promo code 32fans, and you should get the Beard Hedger Pro Kit for 20% off and free shipping. You need to tame your mane. We got 20 haircutting lengths. So whatever length Mara wants, she could pick, right? The titanium coated T-blades, so it'll be smooth on your face. Single stroke efficiency. I know that you're a big fan of single stroke efficiency.
I've made that joke about you already, please.
Yeah. Bring satisfaction one stroke at a time. Travel size package, long lasting battery, universal charger, strong motor. What do you need a strong motor if you get satisfaction in one stroke? I don't know. You get the beard shampoo with the conditioner, the beard oil, the beard balm, fresh eucalyptus. Ali, which is your favorite scent between eucalyptus, rosemary, and lavender?
I don't get a cut of this ad. I'm not contributing to it.
Well, you don't have to because you get all three with the beard balm. So you get all. You also get 3 free gifts. You get a beard brush, a beard comb, a beard scissors. Everyone, look at Akiva's beard. Don't have that beard. Go to manscaped.com. Promo code 32fans, 20% off FS. Is it time for us to go to the modern era, other side of the bracket?
Let's do it.
All right. So let's skip our way over to the other side of the bracket. And our first matchup is, hold on, I'm zooming in here so we can see better. It is Jude Law.
Wow, he got half the cover because you know what? They know what Chris Rock once said about. People forget before Chris Rock upset Will Smith, he upset Jude Law, right? And Ali, you're a Hollywood expert, then, right? He like made fun like Jude Law's in every movie, but no one like really cares about him.
Yeah,
and it's sort of true here. There's 4 other people on the cover besides Jude Law on his Sexiest Man Alive, a new record.
Well, we didn't hold this against Johnny Depp. Wasn't the same kind of format.
Yeah, no, he looks very good. I could not say
disagree. I think this is a terrible photo.
It's a terrible photo of him. I think he's like one of the most attractive humans to ever exist, and this photo does not do him justice.
I would say if the tournament was all genders as opposed to men, I think Jude Law would have a better chance because he's very feminine looking to me. There's something about him. He's not you can't really call him a sexy man. He's like a cute little boy or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Says also, the Brad Pitt stand. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Brad Pitt is 1,000 times more man than Jude.
I agree. I'm not going back from the bar with Jude Law. No chance. He's got no doubt in me.
And then we have Paul Rudd, who Paul Rudd could have been at any age. He always looks the same, but Paul Rudd was the sexiest man.
Paul Rudd, I'll go wherever he wants.
In 2021. But honestly, there's something that annoys me a little bit about them picking Paul Rudd because they're picking Paul Rudd because they know that like the Amandas and the Alis and the Alexes and the Kivas
they literally say you're welcome on the cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hashtag crush for life.
Yeah, exactly. But is he like, I mean, his whole being and personality is sexy, but like, is he, he's also, I think, the only one of these people, at least of the ones we've mentioned so far, who I've been within, 10 feet of in real life before.
And you didn't take him home from the bar, so that speaks volumes.
Yeah, that's true. And my wife was more interested at the time in Andy Samberg. That's who she asked for a picture with between the two of them. So she's a Samberg stan. Is Paul Rudd Jewish? He is, right?
Is Paul Rudd Jewish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our first Jew, I mean, we had a quarter of Harrison Ford, but our first Jew and so that obviously helps as well for all 4 of us. I'm definitely voting. I sort of want to vote against Rudd because it almost annoys me. It's almost like a little like they're cheating by putting him here, but I'm not interested in Jude Law at all. He might be my bottom of all 32 men here.
I think you're saying this though because you that's Brad Pitt at the time. That's Clooney at the time. Like, I feel like because we're in 2021, so you're more inundated with like who the girlies are flipping for at the time. Like I would say 50 to 60% of the cover choices are people that sell magazines. That's the point, or all of them are intended to be. I think here, I don't really simp for Paul Rudd. I'm sort of like Nooch. Like, obviously, I really like him. I'll go see his movies that aren't Ant-Man. I don't have a problem with Ant-Man. I just haven't seen it. But what I like about this is that Paul Rudd, I think, humbled himself by taking or like showed humility by posing in a very sexy style photo where maybe he thinks like, I'm not the sexiest man alive. Like, I have to ham it up to like bring the sex appeal. It's not some random photo. So I like that. I'm voting for him. I don't agree necessarily with your grievances, Alex, and that's it.
Okay. Akiva, what about you?
He's eating.
Oh, yeah.
More like Akiva
I wasn't eating.
Does Paul Rudd have a Gentile wife?
I think so.
It's giving Gentile wife.
I'm going with Rudd in a round here. 2 very short names, Paul Rudd and Jude Law, both shorter than Wienerker and Rabinowitz.
All right.
Julie Yeager. So wait, so he that's who his wife is. He met her working
Oh,
on
no.
Clueless. So this is a really tough. Wait, what is it at right now? Is it 3 Ruds?
I think
No,
it's
no,
two
you went
solid Ruds and a reluctant Rud.
and a
Three
reluctant Rud. So
Ruds.
then my vote doesn't really matter here. I have to say this is a really tough matchup for me because I think that Jude Law is extremely attractive. I think that he's one of, like I said, one of the most beautiful people, male or women, man or woman of all time. I don't think this is a good picture. I think this is sort of a bad picture. I like Paul Rudd appeals to me very, very much on a more of like an omnibus level. I think he's very funny. I think he's a great actor. He has that approachability, less like, less sort of aesthetically overwhelming, but I don't like this picture. I think it cuts against his type. I think going for the super sexy pose is sort of not what his like relatability and appeal are, but I guess my vote doesn't matter. This would have been a tough one for me. It's probably a better picture of Paul Rudd, and I don't mind him advancing here.
Okay, yeah. So Paul Rudd advances with 3.5 votes to 0, apparently. Now we have Matthew McConaughey against Michael B. Jordan. So again, it's much more contemporary, this side of the bracket. Matthew McConaughey, Nicole Kidman engaged. Oh, interesting. Mazel tov to her. This year with 2000 and what year was McConaughey again? Hold on, I gotta go look at my list. Sorry. He was in 2005. And Michael B. Jordan was in 2020. Akiva, you vote first here. McConaughey.
And we see the both.
Jordan?
I see both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
McConaughey's really hot. So is Michael B. Jordan. I really hate the mustache that Michael B. Jordan is rocking in the picture.
Agree with you. It's way too thick.
I'm not a mustache guy. I know I have this giant.
Is it still the manscape.com
Yeah.
ad?
Okay, so you guys can't see, but I just turned around and I'm in Times Square, and as I speak, Michael B. Jordan, there's like a huge video screen all the way up a building of him shirtless. It's ads for Calvin Klein.
How's he look?
He is extraordinary. Now again, he's in nothing but Calvin Klein underwear. They just switched to a T-Mobile ad, so I'm back. He is extraordinarily sexy there.
He's a very good looking guy.
If it was the Calvin Klein ad, I would 100% vote for him. But in this picture, he's sexy, yes, but the mustache is so thick, it almost looks like it's a fake mustache that he's glued on.
Yeah.
It's not
Now,
looking
you're a
great.
mustache guy, Alex.
McConaughey, by the way, showing a lot of male cleave there, right? Like the shirt's totally unbuttoned all the way. I don't know. I think in a vacuum, I would vote Jordan. I'm not a huge McConaughey guy, but I don't love.
Yeah,
this
if we're
picture.
going by the picture, I think I'm going McConaughey.
All
Are
right,
either
so
you mustache girlies?
No, but no for me, but I'm surprised how this is going. I do think this is like not the best photo of either of them, but is still a good photo of both of them. I am voting for Michael B. Jordan. I find this to be a sexy photo, and I'm surprised that he's not getting the love here.
Wow. Yeah, I can tolerate a mustache, especially in the presence of a beard. The mustache only is a tough look. But this is what I'm struggling with. I think that both of these are really, really good looking men. They're both good. They're both reasonably good pictures. I mean, I just know Michael B. Jordan, remember him from being a child actor when I was already a fully cognizant adult. So I do have trouble like thinking of him as being as sexy as I think he is as like, a fully adult man now. So that makes this tough for me. I think it gives the edge to McConaughey here.
Yeah, we know him first from like The Wire, and so it's weird to think of like this like poor little kid. Oh boy, is he sexy? That's a little creepy. So
I don't know him from The Wire, so maybe that's why I'm more easily able to vote for him. Although I will say, body language wise, Matthew McConaughey with his open shirt is giving more open, sexy body language, and Michael B. Jordan's like arms over his face, maybe a little more closed off. So I'm not upset about this.
Is this the photo analysis of like the Rihanna cover here?
All right, so McConaughey advances, and now he goes up against Paul Rudd. That's a tough matchup. Who's winning this one?
I'm a McConaughey guy here.
McConaughey, okay. Ali,
I
what about
want to
you?
vote for Paul Rudd because, again, I think it is in line with his personality that he posed for such a sexy photo, because it's almost like a joke. It's like, oh yeah, I'm the sexiest man. Look how sexy I am. Like, hey. But
I don't think People does irony like that. That's not like a People magazine move.
But Paul Rudd
Yeah,
posed like this.
yeah,
Like,
I agree with Allie.
I think, but I also think he looks good in it. Maybe he should be a little sexier kind of thing. It's working. But I do think Matthew McConaughey takes the sexy edge over Paul Rudd, even though I'd rather like date Paul Rudd probably.
Well, that's a good question. So if we were doing like do, date, or dump, right? Or FKM, to use a less child-friendly version, I would say, yeah, obviously the one you're marrying or dating is Paul Rudd. That goes without saying. But the one that you're effing is probably McConaughey, right? So, well, what do I want my sexiness for?
Yeah.
Do I want my sexiness for an hour, or do I want it for a lifetime?
Yeah, well, then who wins in that case? Who's sexier?
Yeah, I'm gonna side with Ali and Akiva. I'm going with McConaughey.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I think that I liked. I think that in this was the matchup where I would have chosen Jude Law over Paul Rudd. I'm not as into Matt McConaughey, but I do think that just based on the picture and the sexiness of it all, he probably advances.
All right, let's get to the next matchup, which in my opinion is the biggest blowout of this entire tournament. It's Matt Damon in 2007. Matt Damon, in my opinion, has never been sexy. He's also like, I don't want to short shame here, but he's pretty short. And John Legend is extraordinarily sexy. How sexy is he, you ask? He's so sexy that they had to put him on 2 different covers in 2019 when he was Sexy Man Alive. We have one where he's wearing the tux, and then we have one where he's showing off some real cleavage there. That's more than we've seen from
Do we have
anybody.
to decide between those two or not? It is the same picture.
No, it's both. It was the same year. Yeah, he had 2 covers. John Legend is extraordinarily attractive, and Matt Damon is not attractive at all. Completely easy romp for me, for Legend.
I've always been a Damon guy, but yeah, this is a tough matchup for him, honestly.
Okay. Does anyone want to disagree?
Even the best picture of Matt Damon probably isn't beating John Legend for me personally, but this is a really good photo. 2 really good photos of John Legend up against maybe the worst photo of Matt Damon.
Terrible photo of Matt Damon here. This is an easy win for John Legend for me too. And I prefer the tux photo, by the way.
All right. So are we picking one photo to advance? Which one are we? So you're voting for tux.
Yes.
They're both so attractive. I'm going to vote for the other one because, again, we got a little cleavage there. Which
Alex likes cleavage. He's on cleavage watch.
Yeah. Listen, you got to quickly take a glance and look away. Yeah, they're both very attractive. I'm going to vote.
I wish I could take John Legend's face in the wet one and put it on the body of the suit one.
Is he emerging from the water, but he's wearing clothes?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's silly. He was like, I'll jump in the pool. I know I'm styled.
So I'm voting for left. And Amanda's voting for right. Allie, what you voting for?
Well, Chester, I'd also like to point out, I feel like you'd vote for left because he's wearing white pants. So we're a few short inches from a real reveal in the wet photo. I think the face, it's giving face and body for the left, so I have to vote for that. I think his face looks the expression's a little strange in the suit one. Still both good photos.
Akiva, who are you voting for? Or which one picture? We can use both, but just for the purpose of the bracket.
We should move both on.
But for the purpose of the bracket, it's
the one with the suit. I think it's clearly the one with the suit.
Vacated.
Is he eliminated?
No.
He's already beaten Damon. I just want to know for the purpose of the bracket which one to put forward.
I didn't sway you with the sweet white pants.
No, I can't use both because I've got to reformat the whole thing because it's double.
We'll stack them.
All right. I'll change my vote to the water
cleavage
one.
It is.
There you go.
Once you heard about the white pants, you were on board.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Our next matchup is. Whoops. Sorry. Let me put John Legend in his correct spot where he belongs. Our next matchup is Hugh Jackman against Idris Elba. 2 of the bigger, more muscly men, I think, probably that we've had in this tournament so far. If I had to guess, I'm not exactly positive, but Hugh Jackman was on the cover in 2008, and Idris Elba was the sexiest man alive in 2016. Or no, 2018. Excuse me.
2 rare non-Americans.
Yeah,
we haven't had too many non-Americans.
Yeah, so a couple of non-Americans here. We got Jackman in 08. We got Elba in 18.
I guess we had Jude Law.
Second guy from The Wire, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm not super into British men, but Idris, I didn't know he was British until I knew him for a while because of The Wire. hard to go up against Idris Elba here. This is also a really good matchup. Hugh Jackman does nothing for me. Like, he yells for the Oscars also, right? And like, I've always found him kind of boring. I don't watch the movies he's in. So this is easy for me, Idris Elba.
Easy Idris Elba for you.
I love how Akiva talks about it like I was early to Denzel or whatever you said. Like I
George
know
Clooney.
he's British,
I knew that
I
George
knew him
Clooney.
for a while.
Allie, you were wearing diapers. I knew George Clooney.
No, but just the way you said it was like I knew Idris
Like he
so well. And then
he
I found out
discovered
he was
him.
British. Yeah.
He discovered him.
I'm saying, but I knew Idris before I knew he was
I
British.
know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm saying I like how
Just
you
stupid.
talk about it. So this would have been a really easy one for me until I saw Hugh Jackman very close up on Broadway. And I was like, wow, I fully understand now. Like, he does have an incredible talent and just charisma. Like, he's charming and I get it. But on literally when he's flat in the photo, I'm not like, this picture really isn't doing much. And I'm a big Idris girly. And this is like a really sexy photo to me. I'm learning that much like Harrison Ford. I like when the guy's like bent over,
the
relaxed.
reclining sort of like the
Yeah.
one elbow up. Yeah, I'm going
Casual.
for Idris here too. Better photo. Yeah, I think that this is a clear winner for me.
Yeah,
What's your beef with British men, Akiva?
It's unanimous, I think. Well, he hates everything about Britain. He won't watch British shows, British movies. He's anti.
But he's a big hooligan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like footy.
But Hugh Jackman
coming home to America soon. It's going to be an American game.
Hugh Jackman's a little too hairy for me. I feel like I want my men to have a little less hair. I feel like Hugh Jackman's probably got more like arm hair.
Bold take from a Jewish man.
Yeah. All right, let's get to Ryan Reynolds going up against Blake Shelton. Now, Blake Shelton, in my opinion, was the most ridiculous person to ever get this award, and this is when it became very clear. Like, you can be Gwen Stefani, and you wouldn't argue he's the sexiest man alive. It's just insane. It's completely insane.
I disagree. I think Gwen Stefani probably does think he's the sexiest man alive.
Yeah, I don't know about
He's
that.
not for us coastal elites, Chester.
I understand they're appealing to a broader market, the people buying their magazines, but yeah, Blake Shelton, is he, I mean, I guess he's like, if he was a Republican senator, he'd be like above average in looks, but like,
I hate his tattoo.
Yeah,
I will say this though.
Barbed wire really tattoo, so cliche.
Ryan Reynolds, very attractive guy. This is a real bad picture. I do not like this Ryan Reynolds picture at all.
Yeah, it's so Reynolds in 2010, Blake Shelton in 2017. It's Reynolds in a route to me.
I'm going with Shelton just because I really hate this picture of, like, they should have done a retake of Ryan Reynolds.
How do you feel
first
about
beard we have in the tournament, by the way.
Wow.
So Akiva siding with his bearded brother.
Wow, manscaped.com.
How do you feel about who?
I want to know how Ali feels about Ryan Reynolds.
Generally, or in this photo?
Both.
I feel sort of neutral about. I do find I like a person. I find it sexy when a person really stumps for his wife, and I feel like he's got that upside. I think he's not quite at the Paul Rudd pose, and he's not at the casual slouch. He's more in a crunch. I don't like this position or this photo. But I think sometimes Ryan Reynolds tries too hard, so it tracks with that. I think Blake Shelton, I'm surprised at all the pushback. I'm surprised, frankly, there haven't been more country people on this list because of how much that appeals to sort of like mass middle America. But I don't
hadn't
find
been any
this to
musicians until Shelton and John Legend.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of torn because I'm sort of neutral on both. Like, I'd be happy to sort of vacate this, but I think I go to Ryan, but I could flip.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ryan here, even though this is like Ryan Reynolds is exactly the type of conventionally attractive guy that does nothing for me. I don't particularly think he's funny or like his movies or anything like that. Does anybody
watch Welcome to Wrexham or no?
No, but it's been recommended to me by an Orthodox Jew in Israel.
Is he on this podcast right now?
No, I'm not limited to the people on this podcast. I also got up to get a string cheese. I hope that's okay.
All right, now we have 2011 against 2016. 2011 is Bradley Cooper, who I have never liked. He's super creepy to me. His nose is too pointy.
And this is the creepiest photo they could have chosen too. Like he's giving creep.
He's not sexy here at all. Like, and then The Rock. I'm a huge Rock fan. I just said I wanted like smaller men, and he's obviously by far the biggest in this tournament. He would destroy me.
And you'd love every minute of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Rock, he's extraordinarily sexy. The first bald man I think we've had on the cover, right? So it doesn't even need hair to be sexy.
Representation, we need it, babe.
Yeah, the Rock easily destroys Bradley Cooper for me. But Ali, what do you say?
Rock, Chester, I do think we have the same taste in men. He's one of my top like 3 celebrity crushes. It's The Rock, and it's not close.
Yeah, I mean, I like him more in like a friend way because again, but
Yeah.
but it's
No,
against
you don't.
Bradley.
You just said he would destroy you. Like, I love that you're thinking of this.
No,
in a real sexy
I mean
way.
physically, I would be in a
No.
lot of pain because
Yeah, she
Right,
means,
I
but
understand,
he's
but-
saying that's a bad thing.
No,
yeah, that's not a good thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna hard disagree with this. I am fully in the tank here for Bradley Cooper. He's
Ooh.
a
Mm.
You're a
Philly guy.
Philadelphian, aren't you?
Yeah, we love that. I think he's funny, he's cute, he's sexy, he's got it all. He's got like that approachable but still very, very good looking thing. I'm extremely intimidated by The Rock. So I'm definitely going
Fair.
with Bradley Cooper here.
All right, 2-1. Now
Yep.
Akiva claims to like The Rock, but not consume any of his content.
I don't consume his content. I kind of think he's kind of phony with like, I mean, he picks terrible movies. I like him in wrestling.
You haven't
like,
seen
he
them.
should
How
go
would
back
you
to
know that?
wrestling. The ones I've seen are bad. We watched them on. To me, I really like Bradley Cooper. I think Bradley Cooper for me could have beat a lot of people. He's objectively not hotter than The Rock, who's aging well. So I have The Rock winning here.
Oh, okay.
You got excited there for a second.
Mhm.
Another Philly loss. Sorry,
Yes.
Amanda.
We're
All right,
used to it.
now we've had a couple of mentions of Michael Jordan. Walter Sweetness Payton was on a cover at one point, but for the first time, we actually have a sportsman. In 2015, David Beckham, although he was no longer playing professional soccer at that point, he's the sexiest man, and he's basically just at this point famous for being famous, right? Like, what does he do in 2015? He's a romantic husband and a devoted dad, and he vacuums! !
Wow.
Yeah, wow, a man who vacuums. That's.
I bet he shaves his own beard.
Yeah.
Also, why is he wasting? Like, why is he vacuuming? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. And then 2012, we have Channing Tatum, charming, chiseled Channing, sexiest man alive. He looked, I mean, for a guy who's sort of big and muscular and is like in all those those movies, like he looks a little twinkish here, doesn't he? Like, I don't know.
Little twinkish. Listen to you.
He looks like the Forrest Gump picture of Tom Hanks a little bit.
Yeah, I'm voting for Beckham here. Yeah, that's my vote.
The chin is off on Beckham in the larger version of the photo. He's got like no chin; it's a little squished. I agree with Alex that the profile shot of Channing Tatum's bod is doing him no favors. Although we get a little tush action, one of the rare full body shots. I'm voting with Channing Tatum. I'm voting for Channing.
As I zoom
It
in
is
on the
funny we
tush,
never get
a little
Alex. Which athlete was
bit of tush
snubbed
Zoom in
that
on
we
the
haven't had?
tush.
That we haven't had any? It's popping. Which athlete was snubbed that was not? I guess Jeter would have been a pretty easy one in his prime.
For sexy athlete, maybe Michael Johnson in like 96.
Now, Jeter would never have posed
David
for the
Robinson in the
picture,
early
though.
90s. David Robinson's like a perfect human specimen.
Yeah.
Not famous
That brother,
enough, though.
the TikTok brother from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Kelsey?
Yeah, look out for him on the next list.
Jackson Mahomes.
No,
You think
No,
no,
Travis
the TikTok
Kelsey.
brother. Yeah,
She's saying Travis Kelsey. Yeah.
No, TikTok brothers Jackson Mahomes, Alex.
you're out of your mind. It's the two brothers who were at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
who got
she's-
like really big on TikTok. The Kelsey brothers.
Oh,
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
the star of the Super Bowl, his brother is a TikToker. So it's fair
Oh.
that what I'm saying.
Now I
okay.
understand, but the
All right.
actual brother
And he's like a
being Travis
low
Kelsey.
person.
Does
Okay,
it matter? Does it matter who I vote for here? Because I vote for David Beckham.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm voting for Tatum. Is it 2-2 or 3-1 Tatum? What did you vote for, Alex?
I voted
It's
for
2-2.
I voted for
Oh, no.
Beckham. Wait,
All
Ali
right, so
voted
now
for
we gotta
2-2.
split it.
I
Yeah.
will
2-2.
not flip.
and we crossed votes here.
Yeah, it's usually Akiva and I have the same taste in men,
Yeah.
but not this
USA.
time.
Akiva,
it's Amanda and I.
are you calling in your favor? Are you calling in your favor from the last round? Where
No,
I said you
I
can't
thought
lose?
because I thought we voted together, Amanda and I.
No,
didn't we?
you voted. No, you
No,
voted
what it
with
I
got
Ali
it, got
for
it, got it.
Tatum. Amanda and I voted for Beckham here.
Got it.
Yeah, I won't flip. I don't like an overly muscly guy. And I think that Beckham has the prettier face.
Even with the no chin.
What's
Amanda and I
the
have been
chin
on.
pro-
Yeah.
Alex, could you zoom in on the
Nathan
face?
should watch out because I'm into Amanda's guy.
Alex, could you zoom in on the chin?
I'll flip to Beckham here, honestly. I think.
Wait, before you say that, I'd like to submit for your consideration the
chin's
weird
a little,
jawline.
it's not a great jawline in this photo. I agree.
Do you
and the
think
hair,
they're like
the
it looks like he's got
hair,
hair
it's so
plugs or
good.
something.
And now can you go back up to the just slightly up to Channing Tatum? You stop there.
The butt. Beckham has a prettier face. I think that's what I'm going, and I'm sure, and he's also a professional athlete. So it's not like his body is a slouch here. I'm not flipping for Beckham.
This is the first one where I actually
hate Channing Tatum's name. I hate like the name Channing.
Tatum gives off like a boy next door vibe to me, whereas Beckham is definitely not a boy next door.
Because he's too sexy and he vacuums.
Is that why?
Is Akiva voting against Beckham because he vacuums?
No, I think Akiva said he would flip to Beckham.
Okay.
Right?
No, I'm flipping to Beckham.
Okay,
Right,
great.
I think this is the first time where we've truly made an incorrect decision.
Okay.
I'm just saying that for the record.
I don't think he's a contender to win.
I think this is a bad photo of an otherwise sexy person, but I think this is a really rough photo for our boy.
Okay. All right, and now our final matchup will be okay. So the reason that I have Chris Hemsworth in a play-in against Chris Evans is, first of all, because we needed to get one more play-in to get to 32, and also because I have no idea who either one of these people are. I know there's a bunch of Chris's. I don't.
You don't know either of them?
That's a bad take.
I mean, I know who both, like, if they both walked in the room and said which one is Hemsworth and which one is Evans, it would honestly be 50-50. I would have no idea. Yeah, so I don't really care about either one of these people. Maybe it's because I'm old. I will vote for Chris Evans between the two of them because he looks sexier. I like the hair more.
Alex, you don't even know, because I've never watched the Marvel movie, and I know both of them are in Marvel. Do you know?
I know that they're in like superhero movies.
Who are they though? I'm saying, do you know their characters?
I think Hemsworth is Thor, right? Because he looks like the guy on the Mets.
And who's Chris Evans?
He doesn't look like a Mets. I have no idea.
He's Captain America.
Captain America. Okay, all right. All right, well, I like Captain America more than Thor,
Yeah,
I guess.
I think that Chris Hemsworth is more attractive, but I really dislike this photo. So that's my conundrum.
The hair is
here.
very late 90s, isn't it? With like
it does feel, this
looks
does
like James
feel
Vanderbeek
like
or
this
something.
is, it does feel like we're on the other side of the bracket with this photo right now. Where are you going for this one, Ali?
I completely agree with you. I really dislike Chris Evans. Like when I see him in an interview, so like he just does makes me heebie-jeebies. But this might be the best photo of Chris Evans that's ever been taken compared to a bad photo of Chris Hemsworth.
That's true.
So
if
we're
just
going
by
I'm voting for Evans because I have to go by the photo because otherwise I'll spin my head on every other vote.
Now it says the universe has spoken. How many people from other planets voted in 2022?
Yeah, I would vote for Hemsworth here, but this picture is so bad.
Is that not a tattoo of Hemsworth? That's just the cover.
It's font. It's text. Yeah.
Font on his arm.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So Chris Evans advances.
Keeping the tattoo police here. There is a tattoo actually that's visible just past the text.
Why were they in a play-in, by the way, Chester? Just because you didn't know who they were?
No, because we needed somebody else to be in a play-in, and they're both Chris's, and they're sort of they're kind of replaceable in my opinion. All right, and now we have Chris Evans going up against Adam Levine. Adam Levine, my wife hates more than any other celebrity who she doesn't, who doesn't have like canceled or political or like other reasons. She just despises him, and she's poisoned him so much that I hate him now, even though his sister, half sister, because they have the same mom, different dads, but his sister used to work with me. We were friends. I remember when she went to his wedding, when he married his supermodel wife who he married to. So I had like at least a somewhat tangential connection to him. He's a Jew, obviously. But because my wife hates him so much, I now hate him, and every time I see his face, it's annoying to me. I don't even know why, but
what does your wife hate about him?
Who's definitely not a Jew. About Adam Levine?
I think it's a common opinion.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
That helps.
So then why don't you
like the girl version of a punchable face? You're saying that he has like, because women wouldn't say I want to punch this guy in the face, but
women can't punch, Akiva.
They can. They just shouldn't.
No one should punch.
But men should. And men should.
No,
punch.
men shouldn't. But nobody should punch anybody.
Nobody should punch anybody.
So why don't you extrapolate? Why is it a common opinion to hate?
Well, I mean, I think like he was sort of floating by and like, I don't love him, but I don't think about him until that like cheating thing blew up. And then it's like, he was really like scummy about it. And he just is kind of scummy. And like Maroon 5 has kind of taken a dive along with it. So I just think he's fallen out of favor with women.
By the way, Justin Timberlake is another guy who you think might have had a chance that's never made it.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
one.
Adam Levine has no charm for me. He never has, and he, certainly has lost whatever charm he might have had. I don't think he's not sexiest man alive good looking. He's like, person at your job good looking. He sort of has like a soft chin too, if we're critiquing jaw lines. So yeah, whereas Chris Hemsworth I'm sorry, he didn't advance. It's Chris Evans who advances. He's not my favorite, but I would definitely pick him over Adam Levine.
Okay, so Chris Evans is going to advance. That means.
I mean, I will say it's a bad. This is like kind of going to like the edit of the left side of the bracket. Like he looks sort of like he was made to look plastic here. Adam Levine.
Yeah.
Probably 10 years ago or 5 years ago, I would have picked Adam Levine. But based on photo, again, I really think this is the best photo of Chris Evans that has ever existed.
Well,
yeah,
then people did their job.
I agree.
And this is last year, so maybe they're improving. Maybe 2023 will be the best picture ever of. Do we have any guesses?
Maybe it's just speaking to us it's like the most of the moment picture.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe should we do like a short podcast next week? We do a draft. Predict who would be like everyone gets.
Well, do you guys have any predictions right now for 2023?
Well, wait, before we get to that, just on the Chris Evans photo, I wonder where this was taken in relation to like his filming regimen. Cause like, I do think he looks bigger than he normally does. Like he normally has like a weirder looking face. Like, I feel like he looks more like filled out than he usually does.
Maybe he got fillers.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm like upset that he looks so good in this photo because it's not representative of how I feel. And I'm going to have to advance him.
Yeah, I threw him into a play-in, and now here I voted from every time, and I'm voting from over Beckham as well. The small chin, I've been convinced by was that Amanda who pointed that out?
No, that's
Akiva?
Ali's.
Ali, sorry,
Ali's take.
Yeah, so I'm voting for Evans over Beckham and Ali, you're as well.
I have to. I didn't even want Beckham to advance over Channing.
Do we have one more vote for Evans over Beckham between Akiva and Amanda? All A's on this podcast.
Yeah,
I'm Evans.
Okay. So
Evans...
Well,
I'm glad my vote is nullified because I don't really feel like voting for either of them. I might have gone for Beckham, but Evans advances. Look at this incredible run for him.
Okay, and wait, we voted for Chris Rock. Chris Rock. For The Rock over Ryan Reynolds already, didn't we? Did I just forget to list it in?
No, I don't think we did.
No, we didn't.
Do that.
We
didn't. Oh, okay, fine. All right. So let's discuss The Rock and
I hate
Ryan Reynolds now.
I hate this. I don't want I hate this so much. I don't want to vote for either of them. I have a feeling that The Rock is going to advance because I know how Ali feels and Chester was about to push it along. I would vacate this. I cannot in good faith stump for Ryan Reynolds. So Akiva, are you going with The Rock here as well?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't like this Reynolds picture. I'm going with Rock.
Okay.
But Chester, sorry, I
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have this like really endearing way that they engage with each other on social media and stuff.
Good for them.
He seems like a likable guy. I would vote for Ryan Reynolds actually, but it sounds like The Rock's already advancing.
Well, no, I mean Akiva and I voted The Rock.
Yeah, it could be a tie.
Oh, no, but that's fine. I'll vote for The Rock.
But to answer your question before, Chester, about who's 2023, I mean, I do feel like the mainstream, like, or not mainstream, like pop culture girlies are after like a Harry Styles. Like,
oh yeah.
Maybe we're due for more of like a Timothy Chalamet. I don't think he's gonna win, but like we really have just big beefcakes as the sexiest men alive, and not really besides maybe like, I don't know, Jude Law and Paul Rudd, but
no, well, Paul Rudd was 2021.
Yeah, I'm taking percent, but even Paul Rudd is like big in that photo versus like a Harry Styles. Maybe we'll move towards like a more
twink
sequence on the cover vibe. I don't know.
Alex just learned the word twink a week ago and is using it every sentence.
No, it's just what context would I have ever had to use it on the podcast before?
So if we followed you in your daily life, we'd be hearing a lot more twink.
We'd be hearing a lot of that.
Actually, let me switch topics for a second. Not exactly switching.
What about like Jason Statham? I'm still thinking of people who can win next year.
No, he's past his prime. Who here has seen the other two, the show on HBO?
I have seen that.
Okay.
Did you just start watching it because Ken Marino told you to?
Ken Marino told me to.
Yeah.
I watched the first two episodes. The main male character in the show is gay, and in episode 1 or episode 2, I forget, one of the 2 episodes that I've seen, he describes, and his sister agrees, the characters describe watching Survivor as
too straight,
as a violently straight thing to do.
Terrible take, worst take ever.
So I was wondering, like, he happened to be in a I think a probably relatively gay like Survivor sort of crowd relative to like the norm, because there's a bunch of like, you know, middle American 50-year-olds probably watching on CBS who are, you know, but maybe we're biased, but like it's never struck me as a show. Also, to be fair, I think the show that episode was filmed in 2019, which was a little bit before sort of Survivor had worked a little harder to be a little more diverse, but like, but you agree with me, Amanda? That's a crazy take, right?
No, it's the person who wrote that joke knows nothing about Survivor and just wanted to like, you know, just put it as a one-off without thinking about it. I mean, I think Survivor's always had a really strong gay following, with the first winner ever being
the first season, gay guy won. Yeah, went in a very different
when there was like no gay people on TV. So
sure.
Bad take.
Right,
Can I ask you a question? Leo and Orlando Bloom have never been on this list.
Leo is never going to pose for the cover. That's the thing.
It's like Leo.
John F. Kennedy Jr. didn't pose for the cover.
Leo's
I know, but it was a different time. They did that like before they were getting them to post. When people had less truth. Leo, the same reason Leo and Tom Cruise have never hosted SNL, because they don't need SNL, so they've never done it.
Yeah, Leo's another one.
I mean, doing SNL is a lot more work and risk than posing.
Of course,
for
than them showing up at your house if you want. 100%. Yes, I agree. But it's the theory is the same. I think that they don't need the publicity the way other people need it.
I personally am not a big fan of Leo from a looks perspective, but I agree that he probably should have won this or been on this at some point.
He was the one that I had the magazine pictures up on my wall of, was Leo, big Leo girly.
All right, so let's we got a few matchups left here and the clock is running short. So Chris Evans or The Rock, how are we voting?
I'll go Chris Evans.
I'm voting for The Rock. This is a good photo of The Rock.
I'm gonna vote for The Rock also. Now we're 2-2. We're stuck.
2-2.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Amanda and I are the same.
Akiva and I always fighting over men.
I'm willing to flip. I'm willing to flip. I just think, you know, it's a very attractive picture of Chris Evans, a guy who I, you know, don't have strong opinions about. So I'm willing to flip unless someone else wants to, unless Ali.
Yeah. Again, I don't have strong feelings about Chris Evans in a vacuum, but there's something about The Rock. It's like, he's way too muscly for me. That's not my thing at all. This is a really good picture of Chris Evans. So that's where I go.
Okay. All right. So we have Chris Evans.
Wow.
And
I feel like this whole bracket is like, well, at least on the other side we have.
And then John Legend, Idris Elba. And
wow.
Take my firstborn child before I have to decide that.
Well, I was gonna say, just to speak to sort of how lily white this has been, I think this is the first matchup where neither were at least one of them is not white, which probably doesn't bode so well for them. But how are people voting here?
This is really tough. These are both extremely good looking men, and they're both really flattering pictures too. Like, I think probably two of the best covers maybe in the whole set. So I think that I would go with Idris here, just like my reaction to the cover photo.
Okay, so Amanda's with Idris.
Really close.
I'm definitely voting Legend. I think he might be
cleavage,
a favorite to win it all right now. Yeah. So it's 1-1. Ali, Akiva, throw out some names.
Go ahead, Kev.
This is almost a tie for me. I'm going to go with Idris Elba.
See, now this is funny because I was going to say Idris's photo is like the date Mary photo, and John Legend's what photo is sexy? Like that is is the sexiest man alive photo.
And you can't date Mary, the other John Legend photo?
No, I'm voting for John Legend based on the bracket being the sexiest man alive photo. I'm voting with you, Alex.
Well, yeah, and I will say this is one I'm not budging.
Wow.
Elba's fine, but Legend, I think he might be my favorite of everyone left.
Does it go to net worth? Then that's.
See, I don't want to flip here,
yeah.
But I'm burned by how many times people didn't flip when I dug my heels in, and my teammate always flipped with whoever I was matched up with you guys.
Wow.
All right. So what about Ali? What about Amanda and Akiva? Are either
but I don't feel passionately enough about this. I'll flip to Idris.
Oh, wow. So Idris Elba wins.
But somebody should have flipped with me on Channing over the chinless wonder.
I think you did get a flip though at some point, Ali. I don't know. We'll listen to the tape.
Yeah.
What's the next matchup?
All right. So now we have Idris Elba going up against Matthew McConaughey. I was 100% putting Legend through over McConaughey, but I'm going to vote for McConaughey over Elba now. Elba's a little bit too big for me. Same thing with The Rock. Like a little too much.
He's not even close to as big as The Rock.
Of course not. But they're both, and you know, I don't know. So I'm voting for McConaughey.
I like Idris's picture much better. I think I'm gonna vote for Idris here.
By the way, McConaughey and Legend, I see they're both wearing blue denim shirts, unbuttoned.
Oh, maybe that's your thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you like the cleavage. You like
Although
the blue
there
denim
is something
shirt.
very comforting about Elba. He's wearing the comfy, chunky sweater with the plain.
Oh,
white
like
tee.
imagine the snuggling
Yeah.
with
Good
Elba.
snuggling,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm going Stringer Bell.
Okay, so it's 2-1, and Ali, what about you?
I think that it's a cleaner win of the wet photo of John Legend against Matthew McConaughey, but given that Idris beat that photo on that sort of transitive property, I have to vote for Idris over McConaughey.
All right. Yep. Don't necessarily disagree.
We could have had a Stringer versus Wallace matchup here.
Where's Wallace? Yeah.
Mhm.
That would be
I might
wild.
have to advance Idris the whole way on the heels of him having beat what I think
Wow.
is probably a sexier photo.
All right. So now, we have Idris Elba against Chris Evans. And I think, I mean, again, I had barely heard of Chris Evans, so I would definitely vote for Elba. But this picture alone, as people, as Ali especially has said repeatedly, this is the 100th percentile possible picture of Chris Evans. And he looks so good here. So it makes it a tougher matchup. But Ali, how are you voting?
It's really hard because you said I could use whatever criteria I want, and I set my own rigid rule that I'm going to go based on the photo. But I dislike Chris Evans so much, like not whatever, but like I don't find him remotely attractive. So it's tough to take somebody like, I don't feel the same, but it's similar to if I had to vote for like Mel Gibson the whole way. Like at what point do my actual level of thinking they're sexy come into the vote here? So I'm really, whereas Idris, I think is one of the sexiest men on this list. So I'm gonna break my own rigid moral code and vote for Idris over what is probably a sexier photo, but I just don't find Chris Evans sexy.
Okay, 1-1, Amanda.
I'm also going with Idris here. Evans has skated by on a good photo long enough.
And Wheels?
Going Evans.
Evans. All right, so 2-2. In the final four, we got a 2-2 matchup. Do we go to rocks?
I'm not flipping.
I'm not flipping.
I'll flip to Elba because Evans winning this would be ridiculous.
That would be terrible.
Yeah, it would be too much. That can't happen. So even though, again, I voted against Elba. Let me see. I voted against him. I voted against him for Legend. I voted against him. Yeah, but
With
whatever,
McConaughey, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Idris Elba, welcome to the finals. Will he face John F. Kennedy Jr. or Denzel? I might be alone here. I'm voting for JFK Jr.
Wow.
There's something hilarious to me about him being voted the sexiest man.
It's great. That would be wild if he won the whole thing. Nobody would have seen that coming.
Yeah.
I think
I voted against JFK Jr. in every round, so I'm voting for Denzel.
I'm voting for Denzel here.
Yeah, the Denzel for sure.
Okay. All right. So now we have Denzel against Elba. Who is the sexiest man? Who's going to win our whole tournament?
Should we count on three? I'll vote on three, like we do on.
Sure.
All right. Do you want me to write and reveal? I don't have any.
No, we'll say it. Well, on the count of three, we'll say it.
All right.
Okay, I got my answer. All right.
Everybody ready?
I think
Everybody
I know
ready?
how this is gonna go.
One.
Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
1,
3,
2.
2, 1.
Denzel.
Idris.
Well,
Two to
what did
two.
you say?
It's 2-2.
Oh no.
It's 2-2
said-
again. Wow.
And it's the same. It's the same alliances we've had most of the time. It's Ali and I.
That's
Team
sure to have a
Idris.
fight over a man.
Yeah. I could all right. I could be convinced to flip here because I do think that the like modern sensibilities in the people cover for Idris Elba make me prefer it slightly. I think that Denzel is like helped by it's a good cover for the time and his like whole body of work. But if I like really force myself to focus on the cover, I think I do like Elba's slightly better, but I think I would, I don't know. So my vote is for Denzel, but if like if somebody has to flip, I would flip to.
I think we should vacate.
Idris Elba. Vacate
We were not
die.
able.
No
We're
winner
not-
for the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and who
Um,
wins my bar thing, Alex? Who do you think wins my?
By what? Net worth? It's Denzel and it's not close.
No, he's going into it.
He's
His
going
standard
into
of
a bar.
whoever Akiva thinks is sexy or getting more girls.
Who's
Like
pulling?
again,
Who's
there's
like?
no.
Denzel, because he's just more of an icon. Although he's older now, so I don't know.
They don't know who he is. It's just the looks. You know.
Yeah.
It's not because in theory, then both.
The accent. Then you take the accent.
That's true.
Well,
That
in
is-
America, but what about in over in Europe? Maybe Denzel's accent.
They love the American accent.
Yeah. All right, but
right, we
I
have to
think
wrap
Amanda
up.
already said she's
have-
flipping. So I
I'll
think
flip.
that's
I'll flip
in.
to for the good of the bracket
out
and
of
not
here.
having a vacated position and being able to end the
So
podcast.
congratulations, Idris
Wouldn't it have been
Elba.
amazing if this ended up where we just impact wins and so it's sort of like a fun bracket after all?
Yeah.
Never thought it had a chance.
Yes.
All right, so congratulations to Idris Elba, our sexiest man alive of all the sexiest men alive. Kira, Ali,
Bye.
It's really how that should go.
I got your picture of me and you. You wrote I love you. I wrote me too. I sit and stare at it, there's nothing else to do. Oh, it's in color. Your hair is brown. Your eyes are hazel and soft as clouds. I often kiss you when there's no one else around. I got your picture. I'd like a million of you all around myself. I want a doctor to take a picture so I can look at you from inside as well. You got me turning up and turning down, I'm turning in, I'm turning round, I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. I got your picture, I'd like a million of them around myself. I want the doctor to take a picture so I can look at you from inside as well. You got me turning up and turning down, I'm turning in, I'm turning round, I'm turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so. No sex, no drugs, no wine, no women, no fun, no sin, no you, no wonder it's dark. Everyone around me is a total stranger. Everyone avoids me like a cyclone ranger.